Okay, eye patch boy, my little British pirate, it's your time. You're gonna shine. You're gonna sing. You're not gonna sing. You're gonna eat food. You're gonna look cute. Not in your dress, even though we love a man in a dress. But we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this. Okay. Hi guys. I don't know where I was going with that intro, but it's fine. Here's the thing. I didn't finish watching, okay? I didn't finish watching Black Butler. I didn't finish season 1. But before you all get mad at me like you did with Percy Jackson, okay? I was watching another anime at the same time, and that anime just ended up being a bit better, so I ended up just focusing more on that anime. That anime was Attack on Titan. I still need to watch season 2 and season 3, so please, just don't give me hate. I'm sorry. I'm trying. It's just, anime is a tricky thing. But, yeah, so that's what's happening. So my knowledge is kind of but I know their names. I can pronounce their names because they're pretty easy. Ciel, Sebastian, Sabby. I think that's what he called them. Anyway, make sure to go support the author because we love authors in this community, and I couldn't have the channel without them, honestly. Facts. The link to this fan fiction is in the description below. Same with the music, and just give them some love. Drop them a follow. I don't think anyone says that, but give them a follow, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you at the end of it. Sebastian was often stood behind Ciel, observing what was going on without ever being an active part of it. He often faded into the background, people registering that he was there, but not really interacting with him. He was a butler, only to be spoken to when there was an order or when Ciel was in need of company. At least, that's how it was supposed to be. In truth, he was a large part of the inner workings of the Phantom High estate. Indeed, where Ciel was, Sebastian wasn't far behind. He saw everything. Nothing that went on in the shadows of the Phantom Hive Manor was unknown to Sebastian. He saw the longing glances that Ciel gave you as you left the room, his eyes following you until you rounded the corner and disappeared from sight. He saw the small smiles, barely a quirk of the lips when Ciel's eyes fell upon you. He heard the muted, wistful sighs when you spoke of the romance you read in your books or heard on the dirty streets of Victorian London. He saw the light dusting of a blush on Ciel's cheeks when you smiled at him, unaware of his blatant affection for you. While Ciel's soul was his and only his, Ciel's heart belonged to another. You. A part of Sebastian toyed with the idea of letting this continue until you grew older and eventually married another. Toyed with the idea of killing you before you even realized how Ciel thought of you. This would only further blacken and taint Ciel's soul, making it all the more fun and ripe for the eventual taking. Alas, black though it was, Sebastian had a heart, though it never beat, and so he resolved to do something about the issue before it became an even bigger problem and started to affect how Ciel carried out his own orders as the Queen's watchdog. After much observation and careful planning, all the while feeling slightly annoyed by Ciel's lack of affection towards you, Sebastian decided to set the two of you up. If neither of you were going to make a move on the chessboard, then Sebastian would just have to do it for you. He was unsure of whether you returned Ciel's feelings, but he knew in time that fond smile you always had for him would turn from affection into love. Only the hands of time could change that, and he knew that he'd just have to be patient and give you two a little nudge. But how to do it? He would have to be careful here. If he made too obvious a move, Ciel would catch on and understand what was happening. Ciel would either pretend he hadn't noticed and allow Sebastian to set him up with you, or he would put an abrupt stop to it, claiming all romantic entanglements to be pointless as it would only get in the way of achieving his goals. If he did nothing, however, then nothing would change. Instead, the situation would worsen until Ciel was so distracted by you that he'd make a false move and leave Sebastian to clean up his mess. Again. Decision made, Sebastian got to planning a delightful 3-course meal for you and Ciel. Humans found comfort in food, did they not? Sometime later, and no expense spared, Sebastian had prepared all 3 courses and plated them beautifully, outdoing himself as always. The table was set and the candles were lit, the overhead lights dimmed to add to the romantic atmosphere. He had even gone so far as to cut a few roses from his section of the garden, scattered the petals in a seemingly random manner. In fact, all the petals were strategically placed to cover one slight stain or another, which he hadn't the time to remove yet. You had been invited to dinner with the instructions to dress formally, while Ciel was in his usual attire, though of course there was not a hair out of place or a single speck of dirt anywhere on his clothing. Unbeknownst to you, Sebastian had slipped a note to Ciel stuck to the underside of his plate. Somehow, very discreetly, Ciel had freed the note and had read it under the table, barely glancing at it, but understanding the message. The only sign of acknowledgement that Sebastian received of Ciel's understanding was a side glance, his eyes narrowing, and his cheeks slightly red. So he didn't appreciate Sebastian's effort to set him up with you. Duly noted. The note had contained but 2 words reading, "Tell them." It was the best Sebastian could do given the circumstances, and as usual, he performed beautifully. When the evening meal was finally over and Sebastian was left to collect each dish and take them to the kitchen to be washed and put away, Ciel took you for a walk through the expensive, wonderfully kept gardens. It didn't look as though his plan had worked, which annoyed Sebastian greatly, but then he spotted something. Ciel was stood before you, the moonlight serving to light your paths down the gardens. Not that there were any trip hazards, of course, Sebastian had been very careful of that, and your hands were brushing against each other's as you stood talking. A smile was on your face, making you all the more stunning, and Sebastian spotted a slight curve to Ciel's own lips. And when Ciel leaned in towards you, far closer than was considered appropriate, Sebastian politely looked up towards the moon, who was watching over his contractor and the object of his obvious affections. "I have acted befittingly, young master." Barely a quirk of the lips when Ciel's eyes fell upon you. Shouldn't it be I? He only has one. Aha! Aha! Sorry. That was my only funny blooper, so there you go. This was so cute. I love this. This is great. I am happy and satisfied. Yay. Yeah, that was so cute. And I love it was gender neutral. I didn't have to make up a name. I didn't have to say listener L or Liz, okay? So it was cool. I always feel bad because I'm like, all the stories I find, it's always a female reader or listener. And I'm like, I swear I am not doing this on purpose. I'm so sorry. But, yes, this was so good. Okay, I'm happy. I'm going to record another video because I'm going to be busy this week. So, bye! I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Mwah.